ESA astronaut André Kuipers will be the second Dutchman to travel to space and the first one to visit the International Space Station. On the 19th of April he will fly to the ISS for the 11-day Delta mission. He will be accompanied by Russian cosmonaut Gennadi Padalka and the American NASA astronaut Mike Fincke. During a busy week of training at NASA's Johnson Space Flight Center in Houston, they found time to do a quick photo shoot. But as André Kuipers is flying to the ISS with a Russian Soyuz spacecraft, he has spent most of his training in Star City, near Moscow. The first thing all astronauts that come here have to learn is Russian. They receive an intensive and personalized language course to get them up to speed as soon as possible. A very difficult language indeed, but on board a Russian vehicle you can't survive without it. The Soyuz is a small spacecraft, but getting acquainted with all the procedures of flying it, as well as docking and undocking it to and from the ISS, takes dedication and a lot of training. André Kuipers and his colleagues have to be prepared for every possible failure, problem or emergency situation. Getting somewhat used to microgravity is also an important element that the training focuses on. During so-called parabolic flights on a specially adapted Ilyushin 76 aircraft, weightlessness is achieved for some 30 seconds at a time. This allows future astronauts to practice, for example, putting on a spacesuit in 0G. If the systems on board the Soyuz fail during re-entry, André Kuipers has to manually land the Soyuz safely. This event can be simulated inside Star City's centrifuge, the largest in the world. It can generate up to 8 times normal gravity. If Kuipers maneuvers the Soyuz, the pressure he feels changes. If his descent into the atmosphere is steeper, he will be pushed back a lot more in his chair. Despite all training sessions on landing a Soyuz, there is still the possibility that the astronauts land somewhere in the vast and icy sub-Siberian plains, hundreds of kilometers from the calculated landing point. Therefore, the astronauts have to work on their survival techniques. With the materials at hand in the Soyuz, they have to be able to pitch a tent and start a fire. And if you want to be found, you have to let people know where you are. And you have to be able to protect yourself against unfriendly animal residents whose territory you've just invaded. Another possibility is a wet landing. The astronauts have to be prepared for a landing at sea as well. In such an event, the suit can be inflated to keep them afloat until they can be located and picked up. During his training, André Kuipers spent some time in Houston as well. There he got acquainted with the American segments of the International Space Station. He was also instructed in various security measures on the station in case anything should go wrong. But at the end of the day, after all this hard work and training, there is still one factor for which an astronaut can't prepare.
The view, because I trained all the different aspects of the flight. And I've been a bit weightless in parabolic flights. You trained the launches, you trained what you have to do. So all the different parts you trained, even hypergravity and centrifuges. But of course, the view of seeing the planet in weightless condition. So this blue sphere in the black nothing. That's what I look forward to most.